Hello and welcome to another episode of Our Daily Magic, where we talk about rituals we can use to cultivate magic in our daily lives. Let's get some banners going on up here. Let's talk about what we've got in store for you today. All right, there we go. Get our branding. Like, hello. What's going on here? Oh, we got the little Our Daily Magic circle above your head. How are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm present. I am energized. I feel rejuvenated. And most importantly, I am grateful. How are you?
Awesome. You ready to give that
Drop that.
All right. So what are we talking about today?
Well, first off, want to make the announcement for those who may be tuning into this or coming to this live.
Mm-hmm.
We did have a planned guest, and the guest didn't show up. So this allows us an opportunity once again to just have an hour to connect and also just to talk.
It's all good.
Talk with the guests or the people who are here who will be our guests.
You are our guest, so please comment. Feel free to share what's coming up for you. Like, hello, we just went through like some really cosmic stuff over the past couple of days. And I'd love to know if you personally have been affected by this 1221 portal and what that looks like for you. Like, there's all these like memes and stuff going on out there about everybody getting their superpowers. Some may have already had them. Some may be getting them. Let us know what's going on with you out there and what's going on in your world, because we've got some stuff to talk about today.
Indeed. Where would you like to start?
What's been going on with you?
Same thing, different day.
Okay, what's that same thing?
Every moment I'm expanding. Every moment I'm getting deeper, and it's just another day in the universal office for me. How can I expand more today? And the universe shows it to me. Doesn't matter if there's a portal or whatever's going on. It's just always an opportunity for us to choose to expand. But of course, these external things, when they do happen, it gives opportunity to use that to our advantage. It's see it a lot too, as you mentioned the memes. See a lot of people say, "Oh my God, what the hell is that thing? Off the top of my head, what's those things called again? The retrogrades. So people say, "Oh my God, this retrograde is coming, and I'm going through all these emotions." Compared to like, yo, that's what it's all about. Like going through your emotions to connect more to yourself and get more into that divine essence of who we are, and to release these patterns that no longer serve us. So I'm always flabbergasted to like hear people when people complain about like that, or even that's, I guess we're gonna go into that. Calling, even like the astrological signs or whatever this is, giving these things more power than it needs to have power. So you blaming these things happening for the reason why you are the way that you are right now. Mm-hmm. And compared to like, you are the way that you are right now because you are the way that you are right now. And your choices leading up to this moment is the reason why you are what you are right now. And the easiest thing to do about when like these things are happening is to blame something external for the reason why we are the way that we are, the reason why our life is the way that it is right now in this moment. And allow like this opportunity to start to get more accountable for why your life is the way that it is right now, because then it allows you to have the power to choose how you want to create your life and how you want to navigate in your life from this moment forward. Things that happened in the past happened the way it was supposed to happen to get you to where you are right now. And with these external things that are happening, it's a great opportunity to be able to release whatever needs to get released. Or even the way I say it, come to realization that there's nothing to be released. It's just an illusion. You are perfect the way that you are, and from this moment forward, you get to expand because we're infinite. And infinite means always expanding. It is everywhere. It is everything. So even those things that we try to release is infinite. It's part of the whole divine plan. But we can have a choice for like what level of the infinite we want to play in this life with. I guess that's where we're going.
Thank you so much for sharing, what you've been exploring and what you've discovered. My personal belief is that I feel like the stars, like, we talk about astrology and stuff like that and the constellations, I believe that we're made of the substance of the universe, right? So the stars are literally a part of us. I believe that the stars are like the constellations and all of that stuff, to create one's like astrological sign. I believe that the stars are the way they are because you were born. Like, that's how powerful I believe we are. I don't think that the stars are like dictating what we're doing. I think that the stars are the way we are because we powerfully came into this world and we're all connected. So I believe that for me, it's a great opportunity to seize those alignments and to, take advantage of the portals, that are opening, and the full moon and the, new moon and stuff like that, to utilize that and to, continue to empower myself through those cycles. Like, everything has a cycle. You've got menstrual cycles, you've got the cycles of the seasons. Like, these are all things that we can use to our advantage as opposed to falling victim to them. And I believe that they're here to help us. So I think astrology is a tool that can absolutely be used to help you or help me. I've used it to help me, setting intentions on the new moon. There's actually something there's something that happens, in the earth. Like, for instance, during the new moon, the water is literally closer to the surface of the soil. So farmers would plant during a new moon. That's why we say they would plant their seeds. So that's why we plant seeds of intentions during the new moon, because that's when the soil is the most moist and the most fertile, because that's when the you know, the seeds have this like optimal condition to be planted, and so do our intentions. You know, everything is like metaphors for everything else. So, you know, utilizing that and recognizing that there is an energy, there is a power there is something that can be used, and not being like, oh my gosh, I missed the new moon. That means that I can't set an intention. Yeah, you can set an intention anytime, you know, and it's a powerful opportunity to do that. And, I love it. We got a comment here. Yes, please, comments. I love this. The universal phenomenons that occur should be used as leveling up opportunities. If your life is shitty, it is because you made shitty decisions.
Yes.
Mercury retrograde had nothing to do with it, unless you use it to manifest more shittiness.
Yeah.
Perfect. Who said that?
I don't even know who said that. But
oh my gosh.
That's it. And that's the go. That's a step more into this thing. And it's pretty much accountability 101.
Mm-hmm.
Taking accountability for your life, because then you get your power back with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because of this person. The reason why I'm continuing to be upset is because of what this person did. What that person did sparked that emotion in you, and you have a choice of whether to keep blaming this external thing for the reason why you're doing it, or just acknowledge that you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing right now because it's a moment. But then when we're able to stop blaming external circumstances and people for the reason why we're at right now, or the reason why we're feeling the way that we're feeling right now, we're able to go within, and in that place within, we're able to transmute this, because we're shedding light into the right places. Then it's like it's like this, like there's some going internally, but then like this is going on. I'm shedding the flashlight outside and not shedding a light on where it needs to get shed on.
Right. Alicia says, yes, I love this. Not creating limits on our growth. Yeah, there's no ceiling.
Yeah.
Hashtag no ceiling.
Yeah, it's infinite. It's always expanding. And I love what you were talking about, astrology and everything, because like for me now, I'm delving deeper. Delving. Hashtag delving.
Oh, boy.
I'm delving deeper into learning more about the infinite in different ways, like from the astrology to energy work to yoga to breath work to this beautiful cacao that I'm drinking right now.
So I'm wearing this shirt, and it's so funny that Spirit had me wear this today, because I remember a long time ago, Dell was like, that shirt triggers me. And it's for the reason that we're talking about today. So what my shirt says is, eggnog made me do it.
Yeah. So the question is, like, for people out there, who's your eggnog that you feel made you do whatever you're doing? And we can go into a deep rabbit hole with that, but don't need to go too deep into that, because
whatever you want. This is our hour.
No, it's the blaming the external for what's happening, or this external force that's driving in your life, that's making things the way that it is right now, compared to what you're putting out. The universe is responding to it, and it's responding to you accordingly. Of course, there are things that we can't plan that's going to happen in this life, because there's moments, things happen. Like people don't plan, like, oh, I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to go for a drive and get in a car accident today. I mean, some people may have that type of intentions with it. It was fun. Actually, somebody was talking about it. I forgot who. One of the spiritual teachers. They said like somebody was really the fear-based. Like they always was afraid of accident happening.
I think it was Wayne Dyer.
Yeah. Talking about accident happening over and over and over again, and then what happened was this person was getting an accident every week. So that fear energy and that belief, is sort of like a mantra. And if you do the mantra and you believe it,
right,
it's potentially going to happen. Totally.
Now I know who this is. This has to be Juju. Delving in deeper. Aha. Who's your eggnog? Dell's wordplay is genius, from one word player to another.
Yeah. It's like, what is your eggnog? And I think we was having this conversation yesterday, and I'm like, you really can be able to get anything you want right now. Mm-hmm. Any single thing. And I was going to do it, or I am still going to do a video on this later. And it's perfect to have this conversation, talk about it now while people are here, because definitely like to hear feedback. But
yeah,
just get present to like what's happening right now. Meaning we're having these conversations on a platform, a social media platform. It's more effortless for us to reach out. We're reaching out to people from all across the world, wherever you are. It's very effortless. We're able to send messages. We're able to do posts. We're able to share our magic and be able to reach people way beyond what we can even think about. And another thing, as I'm talking about this, is every single moment we meet somebody new. Every single day, we always experience somebody new or something new. And this energy, if you really take a look at this consciousness of the internet and all these other things, it's been expanding. Just remember, like back in the day, the 56K modem, AOL, like this how slow the internet was then. But even like our smartphones that we have now, back in the day, the Nokia, flip phone playing Snake, and like not being able to have FaceTime, having these things, being able to reach people so effortless now. And the space and opportunity right now is so effortless for us to take advantage of this and be able to really create the life that we want when we actually use these things that the universe has provided in front of us to our advantage. Of course, there's people who use it to a disadvantage that could be perceived as, use it for perceived bad or whatever, but there's so much ample opportunities for us to really get our message out there, really to allow our abundance to come in a more effortless way, and also to like go get it. And I was telling Kai, I'm playing around right now as doing my conscious chemist stuff, just trying different exercises. But what I'm trying now is aligned effortless actions to align myself and allow this effortless space that we have to really get our message out there and really be able to align and do some actions to go get exactly those things that we want, to allow it to happen more effortlessly. And it's pretty cool because even the cell phones, back in the day, we saw about the rotary phones, and like it was so much harder. And even like reaching out to a friend to see if a friend was home or where their friend was at, we used to have to ride our bikes to our friend's house and go see potentially they were there and knock on the door, and they may be there, they may not be there. But now it's more effortless to be able to check in with people to see where they're at and be able to meet people more accordingly. And even just think about it, the GPS. Remember the MapQuest driving around for interviews and all these other things?
With like the instructions, like outside, like where am I going? Yeah.
I feel like that's why we're so advanced. And a lot of us do the text and driving because, like, yo, we was looking at a MapQuest down the street going for an interview and had to make a turn at this or that or whatever. It's just like, but it's a ripe opportunity to really use this space to allow more effortless things to happen for us. But the effort that needs to go down is the effort of us really connecting more into us, really allowing us to transmute what needs to get transmuted, and really get into that knowingness that, yo, we are divine and infinite, and this infinite energy is expanding, and it's here. It's like the universe is here to help you. The universe in the form of being able to reach so many people out there now in a more effortless flow compared to how it was before. It's this ripe opportunity. And a lot of us, we still have that condition from how things used to be. Like, you got to do a book report, got to go to the library, got to look up the books, got to do these other things. I need information for my book report. I got to go to the library and get this stuff. Compared to now, I need information. It's so effortless. I could just Google the question that I had. And no matter what the question is, there's always an answer, because there's always someone out there who had a similar question that you had before you that got the answer to make it more easier for you. This is like co-creation at its best right here. It's like we have a question and the universe responds, and physically in the form of Google, but like all these responses the universe gives us in this. So that's why, like, I ask people, like, what do you want to create in your life right now?
All right, that's a big question, and I'm going to read some comments before we go into that. Juju's saying, so true. It's all about the personal connections, the personal relationship with the Almighty. with each other, with the universe, there's no middleman needed. No tools to assist that are needed, really, because you are the tool. You assist you. And Alicia says, so hard. Sometimes a call for abundance can come from a place of lack. Interesting. Learning how to be abundance, to live in abundance with an opportunity mindset rather than a I need this because I don't have this mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. And that is a universal thing. And thanks for that, Alicia and Juju, if that is Juju.
Yeah, I think it is though. Juju, let us know.
Yeah. Don't want to like say it's the wrong person.
Or whoever it is, let us know.
Yeah, whoever the other person is, we'd love to know who you are. This is Facebook user.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something, that's a dogma a lot of spiritual people out there, they have like that lack of financial abundance. And the reason being, well, for myself, I'll speak for myself in that journey of the whole money thing. And I thought that money was bad. I thought like the root of money, or the root of money is evil and all these other things. And even before even really taking a deeper spiritual path, my religion upbringing was like, oh, money is evil, the root of all evil and all those other things. It's like, no, because it's once again blaming an external energy for what's happening right now. So you're feeling like this money, oh, money, you're bad. Money, you're evil. And just think about it as yourself. It's like we all consciousness, we're all infinite beings. We all come from that same voided space getting created into manifestation in the physical world. And energy of money is a consciousness. So just feel like somebody came to you like, you're evil, you're bad, you're this. I need you though. Come here. It's like you're having a conflict. You're having a conflict with money, like a relationship. Just think about a relationship like that, because all these things that we are looking to go after is a relationship. And like for somebody to do that for you, I need you, I need you, I need you, but you're evil. You're evil. I need you, but you're evil. I need you, but you're evil. And like, who in their right mind would like to be in that type of space?
Check out this other kind of script, right?
Yeah.
Money, you're so good. I don't deserve you because I'm bad. I'm bad. I can't. You know what, money? If you were in my life, I don't even know what I would do with you.
Yeah.
And one of the scenarios that I really had to like I'm telling on myself right now.
Share. Let's do it.
So suppose that Dell won the lottery, right? And we had like millions and millions of dollars. Like I would really have to sit with like, dang, does that mean that I need to win the lottery now? Like how am I contributing? You know, what am I expected to do now that Dell has won the lottery? You know, like, does that mean that he's going to take care of me? Does that mean that, you know, like, what does that mean that I have to do? You know, like sometimes well, for me, it brought up like a real conversation that I needed to have with myself, and actually a real conversation that I had with Dell. Like, what is actually like going to happen? And see, now it starts to get into reality. What's going to happen when we have millions of dollars? You know, like what's gonna pay the taxes? You know, on the house that we get. You know, like these things are like, we're gonna get a dog. Who's gonna walk it? You know, like these are conversations that help to ground, you know, what it is that you're manifesting and what it is that you're stepping into. Sometimes these like unconscious questions that we have that are out there and like don't get answered or get acknowledged can be an unintentional block. Like for instance, you know, like here we go. I'm telling on you, Dell. Is that we were looking for another place to live at one point in time, and Dell told on himself, he's like, I actually didn't look at some of the places because they wouldn't allow a dog there, and I wanted to have a dog secretly. And like that was a conversation that we didn't have until that moment, but it was a real thing that was creating parameters for our next place to live. So just understand, like actually being with that. One of Abraham's, if you listen to Abraham Hicks, Abraham/Esther also has a book, Ask and It Is Given. And there's an exercise in there called virtual reality. like be in that space of where you want to be so that you know what questions will come up for you. You know, like if you're planning on having a big business, who's going to help you? You know, like how much time are you willing to dedicate to it? You know, like is it something that you feel like you actually deserve or can handle? And just being in that space, spending some like virtual time in that space will allow these things to come up so you can like answer these questions for yourself or at least start to think about them.
You know what I was just thinking about as you're saying that thing?
What's that?
And it's in regards to money.
Mm-hmm.
It's like money is a shaman because money brings up these emotions that you have within you. Mm-hmm. And it's not just in the form of money. It's just like these mantras that you have within you. I am not worthy. I am not deserving. How am I need to contribute. I need to do this. Mm-hmm. And really think about that energy of who we really are, the energy of source. The source say like, okay, you need to do this. You need to do that. You need to be obedient. You need to do this. No, source just gives because it's infinite. So it's always given because it's infinite. It's always given. It's always given. It's always given, which also means for us, we can always be given and always be receiving, and simultaneously because we all are one. So as we're given, we're also receiving at the same time. Mm-hmm. But in the form of us being in 3D reality, of course, we do have these desires in our life, which is totally fine. The desire to have a nice home, the desire to get a car or whatever it may be, the desire to use money for some type of thing, and that's okay. But it's also like the duality of it, like giving and receiving. Mm-hmm. Receiving money, giving money, receiving money, giving money. But
is it like can you think of like giving and receiving as the same thing? Like if you're giving, you're receiving, right?
Of course.
Like like the universe is expanding, so the universe must be giving and receiving at the same time too.
Yeah, the universe shows like in the form of all of us.
Right.
How simultaneously there's like infinite things going on. Simultaneously, it's the order, it's the flow of life. It's like it flows, it goes back and forth with the stuff. And
I want to also acknowledge Alicia's comment here, Kai. I resonate with that relationship and dialogue with money too. Yeah, there's like a million bajillion different dialogues we can have with the universe and with money, because money is just one of those relationships, right? But the way I heard this phrase, the way that we do one thing is the way that we do everything.
Of course.
So think if that's your relationship with money, maybe you're relating that way to life too.
Oh yeah, of course. It's happening. And that's like what we were saying when we first started this episode of giving the power fully to these external things for the reason why we're experiencing what we're experiencing right now. And then once we take away the power of like really saying like, it's this reason why I'm like this, the reason why I feel is because of money and some things, compared to getting into that present state of the relationship with you affects every other relationship that happens. But the illusion out there is because it's embedded in us, it's imprinted in us, it's conditioned in us. It's all these external relationships are more important, and these are the things that dictate you, compared to your relationship with you dictates your relationship with everything else. And it's a prime example. It's like when you take care of you, you show up differently compared to when you need to take care of you and you show up in the world hoping that these external things are going to take care of you in a certain way. And that type of relationship is like when you show up full and complete, you're good. But also like, you know exactly what you want, compared to I need this thing to happen. I want to experience this. I want to create this. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want this. I want that. It's like, you want to see the prime example of that type of thing? Look at the kitten. We were just talking about, my son is a powerful manifester.
Yeah. Seriously.
Or our son, sorry.
That little boy. Big boy. Oh my gosh. Okay. So one of the things that that came across my mind while listening to that same that same, was it podcast or just like a YouTube video or something like that?
Oh, yesterday, Wayne Dyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a video.
Is that like desires for me can be scary, not because they're like, I'm afraid that I'm not going to get it, because I'm afraid that I am going to get it. Like, who am I going to be when that desire shows up? You know, am I going to be the same person? Or why do I need to be the same person? You know, like, oh, who am I, you know, in relationship to what it is that I want? You know, am I going to be okay, you know, like after receiving what it is that I want? What if I want the wrong thing? What if I want something that's actually like dangerous or not a part of my purpose? Like, the dialogue can go on and on and on and on. And oh yes, question.
No, go ahead.
One of the things that came to me over the weekend is that, you know, like at that dropping of that story can be as simple as just opening my eyes. So when I come across that dialogue, what I do is I just close my eyes, take a breath, and then open them again, and then just start over. Or start from the space that I want to be in. You know, it's like, and I even experimented with it. I was like, okay, what if this voice has a point? I'm just going to go into it and I'm going to have a conversation with that voice. And it's like all that came out of it was just more drama. It wasn't like there was no reasoning with this voice. There was no like, oh, you're right, I'm going to back off. Like, that didn't happen. And I tried it like a few times. Like, what if I could just show this voice that it's actually going to be okay? Not happening. So what came up was actually an experience of acceptance. And I realized that acceptance for that voice just being the way that it is was a form of inner peace. Like, I wasn't fighting with it anymore. I wasn't like trying to change it or trying to get it to shut up. I just knew that it was going to do what it was going to do, and that I could go in and do that, you know, like that was an eye opener for me. Literally.
Yeah. So, and it was good that I stopped myself to allow you to speak through it, because the question I was about to ask already got answered. So like, it's a practice I'm learning more, allowing people to speak more, because as we speak, as I allow the space for people to speak more, the answer shows up for them in that type of beautiful way that you illustrated it. And that's one of the things that I help a lot of people with TEC, of course, the TEC sessions, helping people go from that inner conflict to inner peace. And for those of you who are listening right now,
thanks, Alicia.
Want for you to get to a realization right now and acceptance that there is a part of you that no matter what you do, no matter where you're going, no matter what is happening, it's always going to have some type of opinion, some information that it's going to be or sharing with you based upon the conditioning from your upbringing, from your life, your experiences. But this part of you, it comes up as a way of trying to protect you in the way that it feels it should potentially try to protect you, because due to the fact the information that it received from other experiences in our life, it's based upon that, like the little box. It keeps you in a box to try to keep you safe. So like the movie Bubble Boy is like a bubble. It's like an energetic bubble that happens if you allow it to, that keeps you in this limited space, but it has a great intention. It's trying to protect you because of the fact of before it's trying to help you to survival mechanism, aka the ego. Of course, that's what I'm talking about. This is part of you, no matter what, is always going to talk. It's always going to give you information. It's always going to say, oh no, you shouldn't be doing this or doing that or this. What if this happens? What if this happens? Because this is always trying to plan what's going to happen. It's always trying to keep you safe, so that way it could prevent things from happening. And this program, even from a more expansive one, it goes back for this consciousness of this ego, goes back in the days of us as humans. We had to worry about saber-tooth tigers and all these other things trying to eat us and stuff. So the survival mechanism, always be on the toes, always planning out, always doing this, always doing that. It is a powerful tool when you're able to integrate the different relationship with it, compared to letting that drive you all the time, but letting that information come in for you to be able to navigate in a different way. And meditation or whatever, be in the space to just observe those thoughts happening, those emotions happening, and those things, but also just acknowledge it. Not say, oh, no, I don't want to do this, because that's the inner conflict. You're fighting with yourself. You're fighting with those thoughts. You're fighting with these emotions. You're fighting with these things, feeling that it's not supposed to be right. It's not supposed to be wrong. It's like, what is right? What is wrong? It's just an illusion. It's all perfect. It's all infinite. It's always the infinite expanding itself in all these different ways. And we can have an opportunity to rise in a vibration even higher than that, rise into a vibration in which we're this expansive, evolved being that also allows this space in us to do what it does. It's going to do what it does no matter what. We have the choice of whether or not we're going to fight with what it does. We're going to choose if we want to do the things that it tells us to do, or just observe it and go from a higher awareness to make a higher awareness actions with things. But it's a powerful tool because it helps us to see where we can go deeper into unconditional love with, when we allow it to be our friend. The ego can be your amigo.
Your ego can be your amigo. Had to repeat that because that was brilliance right there. So can you give an example of that?
Of what? Allowing the ego to be your amigo?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
And I'm going to give an example of the opposite while you're coming up with the example of that. And an instance for me was that, like, I had some emotions come up yesterday, and I just like observed myself in them, right? And what happened is that my feelings were hurt, right? I was hurt. And what I realized is that my reaction to hurt is typically to retract. And I sat with why that is. And the reason why was because that was the protection mechanism. Like, you're hurt, and the ego doesn't want you to get more hurt, because that's what it's programmed to do. It's programmed to keep you safe. So safe means that you close up and you withdraw, right? So I was like, okay, but the conflict that came in that had me realize this other part of me is that my innate instinct, like my true feelings, was that I wanted to love, not that I want to retract. So when that feeling of wanting to retract comes up, I also felt this like, but I want to be loved. And it's like those two were causing the conflict that was inside of me. And I got to choose which one I wanted to like actually be with. And I was like, well, of course, I don't want to, keep myself from the expansive love that's available. So I'm going to choose the love as opposed to choosing to be in my pain. So I closed my eyes, gave that story up, and then proceeded while acknowledging that, hey, there is a part of myself that's feeling this way, and being with that. So what's the example that you got?
I was still thinking about it. It's like things that happen, and then I just navigate quickly through it. But the one thing I can think about is judgment. Mm-hmm. This part of me, and like I was saying, gives you information. So this judgment part was like, oh, this person is still in their story, or why they're going in their story, or like this, they can see things a different way. And me observing that thought that's coming up is like, oh, there's this part of me that's judging myself from my own perceived story. So then what I did was bring the awareness into me instead of like, oh, there's judgment here. And then I brought it back in. So like the first thing to do, which is a powerful exercise for myself that works, is when I first say something like, oh, I'm judging this person. Oh, why is this person doing this or something like that? I take the person or situation out of the equation and get more present to whatever emotion is happening right now. And then once I become aware of what emotion is happening, I give myself permission to fully feel this, and I'm safe to feel whatever is happening right now. And that's the part right there that I used to judge myself. I should judge myself. Oh, I'm feeling angry towards this person. Oh, I'm judging myself because I'm feeling whatever it is, whatever situation. But this situation or person is giving me this divine message that there's a part of me that's ready to come up and be transmuted into love, and bring that awareness within because focusing so much on something external, we're giving our energy, our emotions, our focus on something external happening. And it's the craziest and coolest thing too, because something is happening synchronistically and one person's doing it from a complete opposite reason why they're doing it. But the reason why they're doing it, it could be whatever it is, but that action that they're doing is bringing up something in us that's ready to be released. And the universe in every single moment is allowing us these opportunities to see something, experience something in our life, because this part of us is ready to be loved, ready to be healed, ready for us to integrate a deeper essence awareness of who we really are and go more into this divinity and get more into love with ourselves, which allows us to, one, have more love for that person, have more gratitude for that person or situation, be able to shift the energy tied towards that. But then this powerful energy that you got from whatever this trigger was, you get to morph this into a powerful tool that you use for yourself to create whatever you want.
I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
So you're talking about like morphing and transmuting and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Are we really like doing that, or are we just letting it be?
Letting it be allows it to do that, because at the end of the day, it's all love. It's just an illusion that it may be anger, it may be this thing, it may be that. But unconditional love is love without any conditioning. So even the judgment is unconditional love. Even the anger is unconditional love. It's just, and to go even more back, all these things are just energy.
Right.
We're energy. We're just in this human form, of course, but we're just energy. So when these things, energy happens in front of us, that brings up energy within us, but this energy gets morphed into whatever emotion that happens, but it's just being with it and not fighting with it. Okay, you're here. What's up? Let's chill out. And then the energy gets to get morphed. But then the cool thing about it is this energy that is getting built up in us is helping us to get this emotional cleansing to release these things.
Right. So are we releasing it, or are we just releasing our attention to it?
We're releasing what our illusion is to that energy, to allow the energy to become what it really is, love.
Got it. So you know how like in quantum physics they say that an experiment or whatever is going on, a situation is modified simply by there being an observer. Right? So the energy that we're observing, we're just modifying it because we're perceiving it, but it maybe is not actually any different than it was.
That's it.
Got it.
I love that. And it's like change your perception about stuff. It changes like the energy tied towards it for yourself. So it's like these traumatic events that we have in our life experiences. We all have traumatic events. We can look at it from the moment of that traumatic event, because at that moment there may be some upset, there may be some anger, there may be all these other things towards whatever that traumatic event was. But the deeper that we're able to get into this awareness, deeper into ourselves and who we really are, and we're able to shift the perception of that, it helps to shift the energy towards that. So when you start to think about that, you can be able to think about it in a place of gratitude, unconditional love. And it's a process. It can be a process to get there, but there's a possibility for that for every single person to be able to shift any energies towards any events that happen. But it's like, are you willing to do the necessary fun work of going within and helping to transmute that? Well, of course, in the process of doing that, and those are not ready, the universe is just going to keep giving you events to help you to get to that place of just surrendering. Like, all right, fine.
Got it. That's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. Yep.
Anything else?
I was about to ask you the same thing. Why? Because we're like being faced with all of these different things, but it's like at the same time, it's all the same. And I keep going back from like, oh, it's the same, we're all one, to, oh, there's these components that we can acknowledge and distinguish. And like, like the word, like, I'm like, that's what I am right now. I'm like, okay, transmutation only exists in the world of duality. There is no transmuting in the world of oneness because it's all one. So I'm like, okay, which operating system am I in right now? Am I in the oneness dialogue or am I in the duality dialogue? And I have to like keep going back and keep like checking myself to see like what is resonating with where I am and how do I want to relate to to these phenomena. So it's really interesting.
Where you resonate right now in this moment?
That's wherever it is. Which is why I keep asking myself and not assuming, oh, well, I'm just going to be in oneness for the rest of my life. It doesn't necessarily work that way. I can be like, hey, what's going on right now? And even now is in the past. How about now? So what's interesting is that when I think about that, I first of all, I read part of the Bible in high school as in a literature class. So I haven't read it on my own, like as a religious practice, but I read it as literature in class. And what struck me, like I had this like epiphany moment, is that it says, God says, let there be light, right? It didn't say God said, let there be light and dark. So like, where did this like dark stuff come from? In like, there's just one fabric, maybe the fabric is folded, maybe the fabric is, has a different regions, but it's all the same fabric from that perspective. And then, there's the opportunity for these two beings here to be Kai and Del, and I get to enjoy that too. So it's like the choice for me, it feels, is important. Like the choice to decide, like the opportunity to decide where it is that I want to be and how it is that I get to perceive this world, I feel is a gift, to be able to have that choice, that free will. And there's a beauty in all of the choices.
Exactly. There's no right or wrong choice. There's just choices. It's free will. We have the free will to make any decision we want to make.
Right.
And we get to navigate however we want to navigate in life. And that's why, like, asking that question is a question that a lot of people can't really answer. Like, what do you want? What do you want to experience in your life? What do you really want? Right now, what do you want? And it's hard for people to ask or to answer that.
What's your answer?
I want to expand into the knowingness of God. And just to I ask myself that a lot of times in my mind when I'm having these conversations, even now, I ask myself, like, how would God like to talk in this conversation? How would God speak in this conversation? How can I love more like God? And even one of the most amazing teachers in the world, in the universe, that have been here, Jesus, like, how can I be more Christ-like? So just ask stuff like that. And then sometimes even like just,
AKA cat syndrome.
Yeah, but it's simple. But also there's moments of like, what else do I want? What else do I want? Yeah, I want a more successful, thriving business. I want to be able to, like we always talk about, to get that dream home and build that dream home like that. I want my dog. I want Foxworth. But also, like, even on a deeper awareness now, those things are like my own stuff. But like personally, I want to help everyone that I come across to really tap in and remember who they are and to be that. And also to serve and to help people to step into that realization, step into the way I call it their true essence, connecting to their true essence. But like the thing about that, as I was talking about yesterday, is like you're already connected. It's just an illusion that you're not connected. And I love to set spaces to help people to remove the illusions, to realize what's always been there when you get rid of the illusions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. What was interesting is that so I got caught up in, you know, the conversation of, you know, like connection and what that means to me. And like I'm forever redefining my terms, right? So I'm really like taking a look at my language and what it is that I mean by it and what meaning I'm like giving things. And so there was one time where I was, you know, exploring what connection and disconnection means. And I realized that what I was caught up in is a paradigm that just wasn't mine. Like the way that I talk about things. So if you ask me like, oh, what do you want, Kai? Then my answer is that I want my life to be filled with magic, like saturated with magic. And to me, that means like it means what it means, right? But if I were to try to like put those like that significance into terms like that like someone else, you know, like created, then it doesn't make sense anymore. And I'm trying to conform my world to someone else's. Ooh. So it's like I had to like connection. That's not my word. My word is magic. Yeah. I want my world to be filled with magic. And for me, there's the magic of manifestation. There's the magic of, you know, like synchronicities. There's all of these things that I can go into that have significance for me. But when I'm trying to like, you know, be in someone else's world and essentially connect to someone else's God, that is like, that's profound right there. But I focused on creating my own personal connection and what that means to me. And that just continues to like flood in inspiration and flood in, you know, distinctions that are personal to me. And that's where you know, that's where it is that I continue to dwell. So that's my answer to the question.
Yeah. And that's it. That right there is the core foundation for all of us to really experience even deeper relationship with the divine and a deeper relationship with everyone else, is finding your own unique path and your own unique way of getting there. Because whatever way that you say it, it is whatever way you say it. It's all about the intention, the energy behind it. When you say it, what are your emotions type behind it? Is you're doing this because this is natural for you, this is how it feels for you, this is how you see it, or are you doing this because somebody's telling you you need to do it this way, you need to do it that way, you need to do it this way, you need to be like this? And like doing those ways that they say you need to do, it may be powerful, it's going to get to a certain point, and then you're going to hit that wall. I hit the wall numerous times. I did other people's modalities and other things like that, and I always hit this certain wall because there's this other part of me like, hey, what about trying this? What about trying this? And I was like shooing it away because like, oh, this person said I need to be this way, or I got to do it this way. I got to do it this way. And it worked for them, and it's so powerful because it's their natural way. But then when they teach it to other people, it may not resonate with these people. It resonates to a certain extent. But it's like, find your own path. But in you find your own path, you're going to come across magical beings who are going to share their magic, their expertise with you. And it's sort of like going to the Universal Mall and going shopping and picking up these little items from here, a little bit of Reiki here, a little bit of yoga here, a little bit of breath work here, a little bit of plant medicine over here, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of Om chants, and maybe a little bit of smoking weed, a little bit of smoking cigarettes, maybe a lot of having sex, a lot of massages, whatever it is. Like for you, it's like what resonates with you. That's the core foundation to allow you to have a more effortless spiritual path, because spiritual is you. And think about it. Infinite is everything, including you. Mm-hmm. The universe is expressing itself through you, your own unique way, because you're meant to forge your own path. So that way, those who resonate with your path are going to start showing up for you and your tribe and everything else. And that's one of the dogmas that needs to like pretty much get out of there of like, yo, you have the right to do your own practice.
Mm.
You have the right to do what resonates with you. And a lot of people out there who try to force things upon people, bless them, because they know it. It's a knowingness. They believe it. It worked for them, but it may not even work for you. So that's why, like, for me, I get worried for people saying, like, oh, this is the path to do. This is the more superior path than this, because you can already hear that. That's ego comparison.
Mm.
How can you compare something that's all one?
Mm-hmm.
In the space of oneness, it's all one. It's all perfect. It's all good. It's all going to work whatever way this path. There's infinite ways to get into that path. It's like, what resonates with you?
Remember, you're talking about high vibrational comparison?
Yeah.
Do you want to distinguish that?
Oh yeah. So for me, like, comparison with the ego is like, oh, this person is better than me and all these other things. Why does this person do this? So pretty much that egoic comparison, you start feeling like a victim, feeling like you're not where you need to be, or you need to get somewhere else, or whatever like that, compared to where you are right now, the acceptance and love for where you are right now. And the high vibrational comparison is like, for me, I get curious. I look at other people in my field that are highly successful in what they're doing right now, and I get to observe them from a curiosity type of perception, compared to a judgmental or comparison in a way like, oh, they're better than me, all these other things, and get to see like, oh, there's some things I can learn to apply for this, but it's all the same essence. People just spoke their truth and went for it.
Mm-hmm.
They spoke their truth and went for it, and things just started to unravel with it. It's not the fact that they're better than you. We're all equal. It's what do you do with these universal, unique tools that the divine gives you. You get to see the possibility of what happens when we allow these tools to get sharpened and start to use these tools in a way to not only for the betterment of ourselves, but the betterment of others, because things start to show up. People start showing up. Conversations start to happen. We start to co-create things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more effortless. And that's what I was saying to you this morning, too, for just a business thing. I was just thinking about that in meditation. Like, I want to allow things to be more effortless and allow co-creations to happen,
Mm-hmm.
to make things more effortless. There are people out there who, let's say, like, things I don't want to do for my business, that people will be more excited to do it. And I'm willing to hire these people to do it, because it's like God in one industry, hiring God for another industry to let God do what God's do. And there's different vibration that happens when somebody's excited to do the work compared to you feeling, oh man, I got to do this thing. It's a different energy output that happens, because then a co-creation happens, and also you're sharing the abundance. Mm-hmm. And also you'll get to receive abundance. You're giving the abundance to somebody else for their craft and their expertise and their uniqueness and the way that they do it, and also allows you to stay more into your flow state. And that's what I'm choosing. I'm choosing to be more in this flow state, and also I'm choosing to co-create things with other powerful forces out there. And if you're listening to this right now, you are a powerful force. You are a divine expression of the universal consciousness that's birthing through you in a unique way. Those things that you may deem may be weird or whatever, it's your power, it's your tool, it's your superpower. Let that shit out.
Yes. And shout out to Janielle, Alfred, and Omega, our amazing virtual assistants. This has been an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
An awesome conversation. And also, I want to thank you, because you helped me distinguish further the way that I work with people. For some of you may know that I work in branding. I used to be a celebrity publicist, and now I help spiritual entrepreneurs. So in that space is where we get to work together to allow your brand to speak to you. And, I'm getting that more and more, and feeling more and more comfortable with acknowledging that space for what it is. Like, your brand wants to talk to you. And that's what we get to do together.
Should offer your offering right now.
Huh?
For those out there, because I'm pretty sure some conscious people out there with some brand that may be struggling with some brand things. And what would you say for those people?
Y'all know where to find me, DM me, but I'll officially, let you know what's up and the group. And thank you for being here and being a part of this evolution. This is big. Thank you all for being here. This is truly a conversation. Love it when you comment, and when we get to be in this dialogue together. It says happy holidays, Kai and Del, and to another new year, a new year.
I like the what's it called? I think I said it before. They say like new year, new me, or whatever.
New year, new you.
Yeah, what about new year, true you?
Ooh, Del's brand's expanding. Enjoy it, folks.
Yeah.
Make it a powerful one.
And stay magical. And you know what? Just drop that bomb on them again real quick.